Your turn.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate the invitation to join you this afternoon, and I will tell you today this is my favorite experiment station. I was here some time ago, more than a couple years, and it's pretty astonishing to see some of the changes that have taken place, the level of sophistication and the amount of work that's going on today compared to 2, 3, 4 years ago. And I think that's intended to be a compliment to the folks who work here. This is turning into a real showcase for the state of Wyoming, and we're proud to have our name on it. I want to start by pointing you to the posters over in my far right, over on the other side of the room, that are announcing that this is the 150-year anniversary of the Morrill Act. If you're not up on your American government and history, that was the act that created the land grant system. And the University of Wyoming is the only land grant school. It's the only school in the state of Wyoming. It's also the only land grant school in the state of Wyoming. And a big part of the reason why UW today has a strong and growing commitment to agriculture, and has always had that commitment, and will always have, when we will continue to have it in the future, is because of the Morrill Act. And that's going to be something that will be highlighted around the state of Wyoming this year. I also want to take just a second and introduce one other person who's in the room today, and ask Bill Gurn if he will stand up. Bill Gurn is the Vice President for Research at the University of Wyoming. Bill is responsible for all of the research that goes on at UW, and during his time in that position, he has grown the UW research enterprise, I'm going to say, by 800 or 900% from what it once was. So much of the reason for the overall success we're having at UW right now is because of Bill Gurn, and he really is the person, if you have any questions, he can answer almost any question you have. The people who know him are laughing because they know it's true. I was asked to talk a little bit about how UW connects with the people of the state of Wyoming. I'll take just a couple minutes to do that this afternoon. We like to think that UW plays a pretty pivotal role in the welfare of Wyoming, whether that's in delivering higher education services to your sons and daughters and yourselves and your friends. In part, that also helps to produce the workforce that we have here to support the ag industry, livestock industry, energy industry, tourism and hospitality industry, small businesses, what have you. But we produce an awful lot of the folks who go on in this state to successful careers in the areas of their choosing. I'd add to that also certainly the research piece. We have a longstanding commitment to research, and I would say under Bill's guidance in the last 10, 15 years, a growing commitment to making sure that that research piece connects to the economic development needs of the state and has a real connection to what you do in the field and to the help that you need, just as the College of Ag has that commitment. And I would say service, obviously, is the third one. We have a service responsibility to everyone in the state, and we take that very seriously through our instruction, through our research, and also through our outreach efforts. It is a continuing effort to work on outreach in a state that's as big as Wyoming. And we get around as much as we can. Arguably, I think there are times when we know more would be better, but we do take it seriously and we work very hard at it. And I just want to make a couple points. Number one, don't forget about the members of the Board of Trustees. I have 12 members of the Board of Trustees appointed by the governor, confirmed by the Senate, They are my bosses. They are the ones that set policy and direction for the university. You've got two up here in this neck of the woods, two very good ones. You've got Howard Wilson from Thermop, who's been on the board now probably for, I'm going to guess, 10 years. And you have Dave Bostrom, who is also the president of the Board of Trustees from Worland. And Dave's been on the board 3 or 4 years. What I can tell you about these guys and the rest of the members of the board, they take their job very seriously. If you talk to them, we hear about it. And it is a significant, they're a significant conduit to me and to others at the university. So take advantage of them. They are good people. They want to do what's right for you and for the rest of Wyoming, and they take their responsibilities very, very seriously. So I would say when you see them around, or if you have an opportunity to invite them up some other time, do that, and you will have a powerful advocate in your corner. I also spend a fair amount of my time traveling around the state. I see Representative Geis in the back. I spend a fair amount of the year trying to make sure that I stay in touch with legislators around the state. In the past week or two, I've been with the Wyoming Business Alliance, economic development groups, parents associations. We're doing our introduction for incoming freshmen, Alumni United Way, community events over in the southeast corner of the state. And I had an opportunity to spend a couple hours this morning before I came up here visiting with the governor. And so big part of my job is to make sure that the University of Wyoming is connected. I would tell you straight out, good universities are relevant and connected to the communities, the towns, the cities, and the state that they're located in. As soon as universities or colleges lose that relevance and connection, they lose their importance. And we take that responsibility very seriously and will continue to do so in the future. I want to make a comment about the College of Ag, in particular Brett and Frank. I had the good sense to hire Frank a number of years ago. It wasn't in his current job. It was to come in as head of the vet lab. And a few years later, I had the opportunity to ask him to serve as Dean of the College of Agriculture. Since the day he has taken over, and I would say the same holds true for Brett, things have been on the upswing. Enrollments in the College of Ag have never been as high as they are today, at a time, I think, when we've got an aging ag population. The young folks coming into this field of study are growing all the time, and that's a result of strong leadership, and I think you see it sitting up here in the front. And I'd say the same is true for some of the progress and advances we've seen in the Research and Extension Center since Brett has taken over. We've got other programs in this part of Wyoming, in Powell, in the Bighorn Basin, but I would tell you that I think this really is one of the premier sites that we have to do our work out in the field in the state of Wyoming. The Seed Lab, the Certification Service, the Research and Extension Center. We also have a presence here at Powell at Northwest College, and that's another one that we take seriously. We would like to grow that partnership stronger and bigger than it's been in the past. It's part of the reason why I also spend a fair amount of time working with my colleagues and counterparts in the 7 community colleges around the state. They send us about 800 students a year come to Wyoming from the community college system. Communication is a big challenge for any large organization, and we're no exception. There are times, I am certain, when many of you have probably felt like we weren't listening or we haven't heard. We will try our best to communicate what we're doing with you, and I want to encourage all of you to do the same with us. Don't be shy. I think typically when you talk to a group of ag producers, that's not a problem. And I frankly like it. You know, I think you be as outspoken as you need to be to get your point made. We will listen, we will take it back to the shop and see what we can do to make things better for you. We work for you. The University of Wyoming belongs to the state of Wyoming. If we're not making the connections that need to be made and providing the services that help support you, then we're not doing our job the way we ought to. And with that, I would thank you for inviting me up here. Invite me again next year and I'll be back. All right, thank you.